Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video on this channel. It's been a while since I uploaded. I actually really want to make this video for you guys because I think it would be a very educational video, as well as, you know, kind of like a video where a lot of people can really understand what it's like to be in my position, because I know a lot of people come out to their parents right away. For people like me, they know I'm transgender, they know all this stuff, but I have yet to talk to them about it. And it's been since November of last year since that has happened, and to me it's been way too long. It's almost a year, and to me it's like, okay, this whole entire conversation is going to determine whether I'm going to be talking to them for the rest of my life or not. So we're going to see what happens here, and I'll be recording it all. Hopefully I can get everything just for educational purposes and for people to understand, you know, maybe some things to say, some tips, because being trans it could be different, but we all have like some similarities to each other. So yeah, see you guys later. Okay, where do I start? Okay, so I'm gonna start talking about, you know, the transition thing part that I want you guys to understand is that I've been going through this since I was 5 years old. Not in ways of that anybody could really see or understand, but I'm sure you guys have seen a couple of signs that I've put out for you guys. And the signs weren't signs of me just trying to tell you something. It was just me like naturally doing it that way, you know. Since I was 5 years old, well, right now I just got diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and it's a condition where I'm born with the opposite brain in my head. But I was conditioned my childhood to be a boy, but I always had those natural things about me that wasn't necessarily a boy, and that's what it came back to me now as an adult, because when we're all being born, you know, we all start off in the process as women or girls, and then you develop into a boy out of the womb, whatever, or a girl. I got too much estrogen, and my brain never developed into a boy's brain, which is why it's scientifically proven that people that are transgender have the opposite gender's brains. And that's why, for me, it's mind over matter. So whatever I feel like will make me happy is what I'm going to go for. And when I figured it out, and I kind of started piecing it up because of Halloween, which I don't know why I wanted to dress up as a girl for Halloween, it just kind of like naturally came into my mind as that, because I did not dress up for three years. And when it came into my mind, I kind of like, well, when I first came out, I was thinking, am I really transgender, or am I trying to get attention, or is it a phase? So I sat there and I thought about my life, and I started retracing everything about what popped up as, what pointed me towards being transgender. And everything popped up. From the way I acted sometimes. You know, there was a phase where
and we always asked you, and you denied it. You always would say no. And so that gave us,
yeah, like
you mixed us up, like, then what's going on?
Yeah.
But we always did ask you, you know, questions, and then, you know, you always said, oh, no, that's not me. So that gave us like...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we didn't know. So when you came for Halloween, and we're like, oh, he's just trying to get attention. You know, what else were we supposed to think?
Yeah, and the reason why I came today was because I was like, you know, if I can't expect them to talk to me if I ain't talking to them. So I said I need to come over here and talk to you guys about it, so you guys can understand where on my end of what is going on. So yeah, my entire life I have been different. I just didn't know how to really...
I knew you were always different, Andrew. I always asked you from your finger things. You always were, when you were we would watch football, you'd go out there and you'd make a football field.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't just go play football. You'd make the whole field.
Yeah.
And you'd put the numbers, and I knew you were different. Way when we got you, when you came to live with us, I just said, he's either going to be very, very smart person, or he's gonna be goofy. Something's going on because you were you were smart. I knew you were smart. You're a smart kid. You got your schoolwork. You did it, and it's you did good grades.
Yeah.
But I always knew, especially when you started writing your book, I knew you're very smart. You're a smart person. So whatever was going on has to be something that's in you.
Yeah.
Something we cannot tell you.
Understand unless I were to tell you guys myself.
Right.
And I mean, even from the time, you asked me to show Noah how to use the bathroom, remember? And yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but I sat down and you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, using the bathroom. And then you're like, you don't sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And, but to me, that was how I was naturally using the bathroom all my life. And I didn't know the difference. But to me, that's how I did it. And, even when I was little, I was attracted to feminine things. I mean, even Marie noticed one of the times when I was walking like this. I would walk like this a lot without knowing it, and someone would point me out on it. It's like, don't do that. It's gay people do that. And I never thought of myself as gay, so I was like, I'm not gay. But I didn't know what transgender was. I didn't know that you can actually go from a male to female or female to a male. So I was like oblivious to what that meant.
So you did all your research on this?
Yes, I did much research. Because at first, I was very, just like you guys, I was very, I didn't know what to think of it. Because at first, when I first came out, I came over here as a cross-dresser at the time. And at that time, I was thinking, is this really who I am? I feel like I'm just trying to get attention. But then later on, whenever I think it was my uncle, one of my uncles on my dad's side of the family, said I was disgusting and all that stuff. And so I said, well, delete me then. And that night, I went to the movies, and I came out to Bernadette. And I said, because something in my mind told me that I'm not a boy. You're not a boy. Say it already. And I came out to her, and because she kind of like helped me come out without knowing it, because she joked around about it, and like it let me know that she wasn't like all like, oh my gosh, if you're like that, you're getting out of my house or whatever. So I came out to her, and I said to her in front of her and Anthony, I think, and I said on Facebook, because all my my close family, you guys weren't here. We're in Albuquerque, you guys are in Socorro, so I figured maybe if I go on Facebook and do it. But I was always afraid to come out to anybody else, unless like, they were there. The first person that actually really was supportive of me was Wesley, which was surprising to me, because Wesley and I, we grew up a lot together, me as a boy. But he said he was really supportive of me, and he was always going to be there. But, to me, it was coming out at the time, and it was very hard for me at work, because I had to go through it at work. And I was going through a lot of where people didn't understand it, people didn't want to understand it. People act like they were cool with it, but then they would act like I was being treated a lot differently. So I went from one store to another. Then I went from that store to another. And this store is okay because no one knows me as Andrew or Steven. They know me as Charlotte. And they treat me like a woman, and I get treated like a woman almost, like literally everywhere I go, I get treated like a woman. I don't get called sir or anything. Everywhere I go now is everyone calls me ma'am and all that stuff, and miss, and there's a lot of lifestyles is a lot different being a girl than a boy, because especially the way people treat you, because that's what I've noticed. But when I first came out, I told my boss, I'm just gonna wear eyeliner to work, because he's like, well, I don't know about the makeup thing. And this is whenever I thought I was a crossdresser, and I started wearing eyeliner, and then I had to wear more, and I had to do more things, and I had to do more things, and I could not stick to one little minimum. I had to continue to transition without even knowing it, in other words. And, it even went from, I would dress up as a boy during the day, and at night I would dress up as a girl. It was living Bernadette. And I was at that point where I didn't want to be at night, I wanted to be full-time. And that's how I knew exactly that I was transgender, because I was like, this has to be who I am, because I don't want to be a boy anymore at all. Like, it's not in my head anymore. Like, I'm much more happy like this, and I've become a lot more of an open person in public because of that. And I do know there's a lot of people that have kind of left me in my life, my Aunt Julie's not my friend anymore. Um, right before Grandma died, they were upset over me because of me. She said that I'm not here to say that me and your grandma. She said that she couldn't bear looking at your videos of you coming out like that, and that was the night before she passed, and it was very upsetting. And she said I still love you and all that stuff, but then she was different. I can tell she was very different. She did not support any of my posts anymore like she used to, and I began to I deleted her. I said, you know what? If you're not gonna accept me now, then why should I sit here and accept you? So I said, you know, if you want me back, you'll add me back. And people were adding me back, and I lost a lot of friends on Facebook, but I gained so much more. I've gained friends all over the world on supporters, and in the words, and I've helped at least 15 people so far, you know, come out to their parents, whether it's being transgender or gay or whatever, and they've all thanked me, and even their parents have thanked me for helping them out, even whenever their parents were religious people and they didn't believe in what it was like or being gay. But it was being who I am is more of just of a decision. It's more of me kind of figuring out and realizing, since I'm an adult now, I make decisions for myself. I've made very strong decisions in the last couple months. I've gotten strong about the places I live in, and now Crystal got on Facebook again, added everybody except for me, Monique, and Marie. And I guess that's why I overheard Monique said, Marie said that Crystal wasn't accepting of it. She did not like it, but Marie says she's accepting and I can go wherever I want to go visit. I know that because she always follows my stuff, and so does Annika. But like I was kind of upset with Crystal at that moment, because I was like, kind of grew up a lot of my years with her, you know, like could at least talk to me about it. And me and her have been like, I even tried adding her on Facebook, and she didn't add me.
What does Anthony say?
Anthony, he doesn't mind. They kind of transitioned like as smooth as I did. Him and it was a little hard at first with Noah, but Noah kind of accepted it after a couple of weeks. Anthony accepted it right away. They all call me Charlotte and all that stuff, and so everything's smooth with them. Monique said she kind of got used to it and she got over it and all that stuff, and she doesn't care anymore. And you know, Bernadette, I thought she was okay, but at first she said at first it was kind of hard for her and she wasn't accepting of it, but then she got used to it, because I am not the same person. I am the same person, but I am more who I'm supposed to be now, and people can see it in me. That's why a lot of people know me as Charlotte now, and they can never see me as, you know, as a boy anymore, because of the way I am. Not that I'm going to be like all girly over people now. It's just the fact that, like, to me it's like I'm finally able to be who I am, so I'm taking advantage of it, of being who I am, especially living in New Mexico where it's a little more open, and I'm happy with the results. And of course my life's not as easy as it used to be. It's very hard, but it's I have to live with that, and that's why I'm going through what I'm going through. I've already taken hormones. I'm already on laser hair removal surgery. I'm looking forward for 2 more surgeries, major surgeries, in the future. But to me, that's for me to be happy with who I am. And for me, like, even long distance, like, for relationships-wise, I kind of opened up more. And I realized that, hey, I like girls and boys. So to me, it's like, it doesn't matter who I'm with anymore, as long as I like them for who they are. And that's how a lot of people have been for me. You know, a lot of people like me too. And I've gotten a lot of friends, and even my ex-girlfriend came back into my life. Not as a relationship kind of way, but a good friend. So, to me, it's like, I got a lot of supporters, so I'm not afraid of losing people. In other words, I'm not afraid because I've already lost so much. And I can see who goes on my stuff and looks at everything and just spectates everything, but doesn't say anything to me. And I can see it through my social media, tells me all that stuff, so I can tell. So for me, I could tell who's very supportive and who's not, and who's like wants to be supportive but they don't know what to say. And that's why sometimes I'm trying to make the effort that I go to Socorro, come to Socorro. I don't come here all the time, but like for me it's been very hard. I'm barely figuring out who I am, and it's very hard to come down to family and see everybody, because it's a whole new light. And for me, it's like even pronouns. It's hard for some people to sometimes start saying she and her and all that stuff, and you know, even with Bernadette for a while, she was saying he and him, and I would have to correct her every single time. So I'm not a he and a him. I'm a she and a her, and everything kind of like it's all working its way. And now I don't ever get called a he and a him. It's very rare. If I do, it's someone that's known me as a he and a him. Everybody else just kind of lets me know, like, and that's kind of like what makes me feel better in public is when people do notice that I'm a female, and yeah, I may not have everything a female has, and I might not be able to have everything a female would be able to have. But there's a lot of females out there that can't have kids, or they can't they can't have their menstrual period. But to me, it's like you know, even though I would love to have those, to me, it's about who I am as a person. Because I'm gonna be honest, like when I was a very young kid, I always thought about myself in a spiritual way, as a girl, and I don't know why. I never thought of like I always thought maybe that's my mom, you know, maybe my mom's my angel or something. But I always saw it, and then I finally figured out, well, okay, I'm seeing myself as a girl, so why is that? So I know because I've gotten tested on like God, what happened to love of God. One of my old friends in the business said, what happened in your relationship with God? And I fought her for it because I know for a fact God made me this way for a reason. He made me transgender for a reason. To live out these two lives, you know, one as a boy and the other as a girl, in a way of helping myself and someone else live their experience. So for me, it's me and God wants me to figure out who I am as a part of my journey in my life that He's given me. So when people ask me, well, you know, that's not accepted or anything, I know for a fact God wouldn't make me this way if He didn't accept it. And could take it from anybody that's transgender. People in Socorro that I never knew were transgender are all coming out to me now. Now that I came out, and everyone's coming out to me now. And I didn't know anything about anybody else being transgender. And they're everywhere now. I see it everywhere. People that say, oh, they've known someone that's done that, or someone that's been here, or someone that's been there. So for me, it's a lot more comfortable to come out a lot more, because all I want is just people to accept me and treat me like I was, you know, a human being. And that's
I've always told people that when you're conceived, you get something from your mom, you get, and what makes you the baby. They all unite, and you get features from your mom, you get features from everybody's born different.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many of these factors, what forms you to be a man or woman. And just like you said it right in the head, all it goes, your brain is formed as a female, and somehow you got cheated into not having the female parts, and God gave you all these male parts.
Yeah, it's like
and that's just the way you're born. Everybody's different.
Exactly.
Everybody's different. And there's people that are born overly male. I mean, they're way overly male. And then there's some women that are way overly women. It depends on how all these things were conceived and how they all formed and what made you, your own individual you. We got 5, 6 if you count Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
Two girls and 3 boys, you know, and everybody's different. My daddy always used to say, look at my hand. We all come from the same hand, but we're all different in our fingers. You know, we're all different.
Yeah, shapes and sizes.
We're all different. And you got to go with what you got to go with, you know.
Exactly.
That's your decision. That's what you have to do. Nothing that I can say or do, or some people may attack you negatively, or some people may accept you. Some people may say, oh no, deny you. You know, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew much about transgenders in my family, but now you're the closest one to be in my family that is going through this phase.
Yeah.
When I was very young, I remember Tony, probably your uncle Tony. I don't know if he was, you can call him your uncle. He was very gay and very female-ish, and you can see it right away. The minute you walk into the room, you can tell that he wasn't a man, but he was wearing a man's body, but he was very, very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't hate him for it. You know, that was what Tony was. And I missed him because he died kind of young, you know. So, you know,
Yeah.
God bless you for doing. I know you're going through difficult times. Everybody goes through difficult times. You're going through probably difficult times that's unique because of the fact that you're trying to follow what you want to do.
Mhm.
And that's what I keep telling your mom. I mean, your auntie. We're like your mom and dad anyway.
Well,
so
yeah, that's. I don't
because
mind.
you know when your mom passed away, you know somebody needed to take care of you. I always hoped that your dad was strong enough to keep you guys all together with him, but apparently he was too weak to do that. Couldn't keep the whole family together. That would have been the most ideal thing to do. He would have had all kinds of help to keep you guys together as one family
Mhm.
and raised you as a family. But you know, a lot of things happened quickly. Your mom passed away too young. He decided to find some other lady, and he made a baby with someone else. Very nice lady. We met him, and he's in high school now, and you know things just go super speed, you know. So I know
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm still gonna love you just because you're to me. It's a little stressful because it's like death, you know. We're seeing Andrew die, but we're seeing Charlotte be reborn, you know.
Yes.
So it is kind of like, you know, all my life I got used to being more like a boy, you know. And now that it's all coming out in my mind and how you're explaining it, yeah, I saw a few things that were a little bit strange about you, but girls can be tomboys too.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
But
nothing wrong with girls playing baseball. You see them all the time, playing baseball and doing boy things. So I never thought of you as a super athlete, but I thought of you as somebody who's really wanted to be good at what you wanted to do.
Mhm.
And right now you want to be good at what you want to do. You just don't want to be a girl. You want to be a good girl. You know, you want to
Yes.
be, you want to be the best you can be. So you know, you have to admire people that want to be the best they can be, whatever journey they decide to go on.
Mhm.
And this is what you want to do, and this is where you're gonna go, and go for it.
And I will, yes. Because there was only one reason why I didn't know when I was a kid. Because people thought I was gay or something.
Mhm.
When being gay is who you go to sleep with, and being transgender is who you go to sleep.
That's a
who you go
major
to sleep
part.
as.
That's about the major part of the sexes, you know.
Yeah.
We're all born to reproduce and make babies and carry on our name and blah blah blah, you know. You know, Andrew's got 5 kids and Paul doesn't have any kids. And Roina's got adopted 2 and she had 1, you know. I think she would want to have some more, but I don't think at her age right now she's not going to have any more kids. I think this is enough. She thinks as Wesley as her own, and she thinks as Ambrielle as her own, because when they had a relationship early and became man and together as a couple, they were little babies. So they really know Rowena as a mom more than the real mom.
Yeah. And like you say, a lot of us are born to do that. When I was a little kid, I always knew I was probably gonna end up adopting kids rather than having them, because
I even had this little notion that when you got bigger, that maybe you would be the glue that bring the whole family together, you know.
Mhm.
But you know, that was just my little fantasy of, you know, I've always wanted the best for your family, all 5 of you, to be the best, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. But
I always see potential in Crystal. She has so much potential. Good looks. I think she had good smarts. She had she had the ability to do a lot of things. Why she ended up where she's at right now, I don't know.
that's why I've been spending a lot more time with Monique lately. Because I go to Monique and we just talk and we hang out, and Moises and my dilemma with Moises has kind of went away from whenever I lived with them before. And Moises is very accepting of me too. I'm very surprised. I was kind of afraid to be seen in front of Moises, but Moises was really cool about it. He's like, whatever, that's
And how about your other uncles and your other uncles?
You're talking about Ernie and
really
Danny
don't know.
and
No, your Grandma Lola's sons.
that one.
That one of them told me I was disgusting.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
was-
was gonna
Okay,
say.
so
You
you
got a
stay
lot
away
of
from
negative
them.
from them.
You stay away from those people?
I do. My auntie Julie, I don't talk to anymore. I actually stopped talking to Isaiah, half brother, because he was laughing at all my posts, and someone messaged me and said, "What's up with this person that keeps laughing at your posts?" Like, because they would put those laughing reactions on my pictures, and I said, "That's my half brother." And they're like, I'm mad at getting mad at him because he keeps on putting that on your post, and it's not cool. And they started commenting on that stuff, and Monique got mad at him, and then he said, "Well, this is the way I was raised. You know, I was raised around, you know, the Bible and all that stuff." And his mom was got in an argument with Monique at the time, and after that, like, we were okay, but I could see the difference between how they were treating me, and they were never like looking at my posts anymore, and I was like, yeah, never mind. I deleted them, and they never added me back. They never did anything, so I presume they didn't really care either. But to me, it was like, it was very hard. A lot of family members kind of like left me, but a lot have came into my life that I didn't know, like Michelle L'Esperanza, she's come into my life, and she's a very big supporter.
She's your cousin?
Cousin, I don't know if it was
What are you talking about?
Michelle L'Esperanza. I don't know exactly. She's a cousin or an auntie. I don't know.
Oh.
But she was at the funeral for grandma.
Okay. So she's on their side of the.
Yeah, but she was a very big supporter. So is Bridget Faye. She's always talking to me. She wants to hang out with me all the time. And then a couple of others that I didn't know anything about until they added me on.
And Bridget is.
I think it's like she's something about to Bernadette. I don't know.
Genevieve's daughter.
Oh, Genevieve's daughter. That's right. Yeah.
And she was a great supporter. And
she's your cousin. She's a cousin of yours. Mm-hmm. Well, the girl with your mom.
Mm-hmm. But see, to me, it's like, and that's why I cherish Bernadette a lot, because Bernadette told me about how mom was, and she would like be kind of like my number one source to how mom was when she was alive and stuff. And a lot of things just happen, and there's nothing I really can do about it, especially when it comes to like family not accepting. Because a lot of the family that didn't accept me were family I didn't even know, really. Like they weren't in my life.
Don't worry about them. You shouldn't. Don't worry about them. Worry about the people that do care about you.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I'm still not gonna throw you to the street. Okay? I'm kind of like I don't know what to think, but you coming over here and explaining things helps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you have to live how you're going to be happy.
And that's why I came over here, because I care about you guys way more than I care about.
Well, you have to live and be a good person, and that's what you have to do. And no matter what you are, you still have a soul. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to go to heaven, not your looks. It's your soul. Your soul. And if you're a good person, you'll go to heaven.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. I always see it as like, you love God and let God love you. And you be good to others the way God would be good to them. That's what matters the most. And that's why I didn't like it when people would assume just because I'm transgender, I
because they don't understand either.
And yeah, of course I got a lot of hate from people. No death threats, thank God, but...
Well, be careful about that.
Because if you guys don't know, the murder rate for transgender people is 9%.
I know.
And the suicide rate is 40%, which is skyrockets between normal, like, cisgender people. So, but for me, I'm not a very suicidal-minded person anyways. So to me, it's like, don't worry about me, like, getting all upset over being trans. Other than the fact that, don't get me wrong, I went through a lot of
harsh there's times. A lot of haters, yes.
I went through a lot of harsh times at work. Before this job area, the other job, I would cry a lot. Because of the way, because it was early in my transition, people were kind of like, they kind of saw me as like, some people call me fake, or people would get mad at me and not tell tell me anything, and I have to hear from another source saying, oh yeah, they came over and said some weirdo or some or this thing was selling me this, and I'm like, I'm not a thing, and I don't know why they hate me and they don't even know me, like, and that was the hard part. Now it's like it's a little different. People treat me a lot more like a female. Like people, like I always get the door open for me and all that stuff, but to me it's like I do get treated a lot more differently than I did at the beginning of my transition when I was wearing my wig and all that stuff, and because I was just trying to grow out my hair at the time, and I went to the company that I'm working for. I went to the main office to the owner, and I argued to him about my hair because I told him I want to grow my hair out. I want to grow my hair. I want to wear this wig, and because the salespeople are supposed to keep their hair short. And I had the biggest argument. Well, I didn't have it with the owner was kind of quiet, but I had a big argument with the HR. And finally, I left, and he said, we have to talk to our attorneys. I said, well, when does your attorney come in? He's like, Monday. I said, good, make it quick. And I walked out. I said bye to the owner, left. Went back to my store that I was working at, and he called and said, you can wear your wig. Because the thing is, there's a lot of legal things that can happen. Like especially when people like treat me wrong, or they'll call me Steven, or if they call me a he, I can make them lose their job that way, and I don't want to do that. And people, I think it's like more of there's a legal thing that if you misgender someone in public, like on a purpose level, there's a $200,000 fine for it, because it does out me. But to me, it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes it's just, for me, it's like everybody has to work on them. But if you don't know me, then there's no reason why you should be messing with my pronouns anyways, because you don't know me. But I've experienced a lot of different things. Like, for the first time, I went to a girl's bathroom. Could not do it. It was hard for me. And my friend, she kept on pulling me in there. We're at church, too. Full church. Bathroom was filled with women. And I was afraid. And I told her, no, I can't go in here. And she managed to pull me in there. And no one looked at me. No one did anything. So now I'm used to it. I go to the women's restroom everywhere, and no one says anything to me. So I'm very happy with how I am being treated in public now, because a lot of people give me compliments. There's been people that are not even transgender that come to me and talk to me and say how thankful they are for someone like me, and that there's some parents that have kids that are transgender that tell me I'm such a good role model for their kids and stuff. And that's why I take my support group so seriously every single day, because they're the ones that have been showing me support and love through my posts, through my messaging me, and I have seen it in them. A lot of people saying, oh, I want you to come visit, or I even got invited to a baby shower in Texas, but of course I had to work, so I couldn't make it. But, it's stuff like that, little things like that, and like even being called a she and a her. Like, being called a girl is what makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy that I'm finally being seen.
Well, that's what you have to be, is happy.
So
be with yourself.
And I do know there's a lot of people that probably don't accept me, like Christina, because she was arguing with Burnett about him. But she said one day on Facebook, she said, well, you gotta be who you gotta be. And then the next day, she deleted me on Facebook. So to me, I was like, it's fine, they're probably gonna see me again in life, whether they like it or not. But to me, it's like I think it's more gradual. It's gonna start coming more and more. People will start understanding it. The more and more, like, the people see it. Like, the more I tell you guys, maybe it might branch off a little more here in Socorro, that people understand a little more.
Some people won't understand.
But yeah, of course, the same thing. Some people won't understand, and it's fine. But the thing is, we live one life. If you want to ruin my relationship with you as like a family member over one thing, well then that's your one life lost from me. So you'll never see me again. And that's, to me, it's like, it's a big thing to know that we only have one life, and that's why I made the decisions that I'm making, because I have one life. I'm not gonna wait.
How do you think that your mom would see you?
I think my mom would have had trouble at first. But I think that, because there's something about her recently, about me, like I could feel her a lot more, that she would be like very fun with it. Like she would kind of like, after she got to accept me, she would be fun, like she would be creative with me about it.
Yeah.
I think to my dad it would have been a little harder.
Yeah, I think he wouldn't.
Yeah, it would have been.
He probably would have denied it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. He would have.
But my mom
disowned you. But I I think your dad would, because he's so. That's the way he was.
Yeah, and especially the way the family is now, like his side of the family, how they look at it. So God knows if he would have been different about it. But I think mom would have really, she would have had a little bit of, kind of like a misunderstanding about it. Like, but then I think she would have loved me just as much as anything. She'd have been more happy if anything, because now I get to be who I wanted. I've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And you know, and I said, well, you have 5 kids. There's one to be bound to be different. You know what I mean?
Huh.
But to me, it's like something I should be ashamed of. I'm happy. Everybody's happy with me. The only thing is, I may be sometimes a tough person to live around because my hormones are. I'm basically going through a second puberty, so I'm gaining.
And what kind of doctors are you seeing that will give you this?
The doctor I see is actually transgender. He is a female that is going to male, so he helps me out with my.
Augusta.
Huh?
Augusta that way.
Yeah, Augusta.
He helped me get on, because they gotta diagnose you first. You can't just go in there and get hormones. You gotta go through like certain things like therapy and all that stuff, and you then from then on you get diagnosed. And I was straightforward with him. I just wanted everything right away. I wanted to start. And I met a lot of transgender people, and a lot of them are cool people. Some of them are like kind of like a little bit weird to be around, not because they're just trans, because of the way they act. Because hormones mixed with alcohol or whatever, not a very good mix. Because, believe it or not, taking hormones has given me a lot of health situations. Like, for instance, I'm sterile now. I can't have kids. I don't know when that's supposed to take effect. It depends on my body. My body's shape is beginning to change. So I grow more, my fat goes where fat will go on women. I'm growing, obviously, breast tissue.
Yeah.
My hair is getting thinner. My skin got a lot more softer. I lost a lot of my acne, actually. I haven't got any acne in a long time. People have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I got a lot of curves. My fat goes in different areas. And then, I'm going to laser hair removal, so I don't get any more facial hair anymore. Because that's a pain, and I don't like worrying about it. But basically, that's what my hormones do for now, until I go to surgeries. The surgeries cost a lot of money. They're like $18,000. And right now, I'm trying to grow my support base enough so I can get people that want to support me. Because I have some favorite YouTubers that are trans that raise up $20,000 in like 6 months from their supporters, and help pay for their surgeries. Because